So I've went through and I've listened to Eminem's Music to Be Murdered By numerous times now. And one of the tracks that I originally slept on, when I first listened to the album, the first go around of the album, was These Demons. After going back through listening to the album, several more times as a matter of fact, this was one of the tracks that caught the most attention from me. Specifically because of how, specifically of what he says in the first verse, really. What he discusses in the first verse is people saying one thing, but they mean the other. And then sometimes those people will say one thing, and they don't even mean the other, and they don't even mean that thing. It's like saying that no matter what the case is, people say they want something, but he can never satisfy them, even when he does that thing. For instance, the lyrics. I want you to change, but don't change. I want you to grow up, but don't age. I want the rage, but don't get too angry. I want the new, but old shady. I want you to say what they won't say. Just don't go too far, but go cray. I want you to almost lose it, man. They keep moving the goalpost, don't they? So it's constantly like, he's trying to please his fans, because his fans will say something, but in reality, they mean something completely different. They want the old shady, but they don't want him to go too far. Well, I'm sorry, but the old shady would always go, I guess some people could say too far, but it's like, you want that, but at the same time, you don't want that. He can't please his fans because his fans are constantly saying they want this, but in reality, they want that. And then sometimes, hell, they don't even want that. They don't even want that. It's like his fans don't know what they want. They are unsatisfied with his music. And I like how he brings that up in the first verse. Then at the start of verse 2, M says, this pandemic got us in a recession. We need to reopen America. What? He's referring to pandemic being COVID. And then, whenever he says we need to reopen America, he's obviously, mocking people that are constantly saying, look, we need to reopen America. And these are the same people that are saying this, that don't wear a mask. They don't practice social distancing. Some of them don't even have good hygiene. That is disgusting, bro. Wash your hands, man. Wash your hands. Even before this pandemic, you should have been washing your hands. That is disgusting if you don't wash your hands on a daily basis at least. But yeah, he's obviously mocking these people that say that we need to reopen America, but they won't even follow these guidelines that are put into play to protect themselves as well as protecting other people. Later on in verse 2, though, Eminem states, black people dying, they want equal rights. Referring to the Black Lives Matter movement here. In 2020, we have been hearing a lot of things about Black Lives Matter. We've been seeing a lot of things on social media, on the news, seeing police brutality. And you don't have to believe me. You can go do your own research. But it's been shown statistically that black people are the race that is most affected by police brutality in all of America. Go do your own research if you don't believe me. He then says, why people want to get haircuts, referring to the people who are willing to drive hundreds upon hundreds of miles to get to a hair salon to get a damn haircut. And no, I'm not joking when I say that. Then he says, some people protest, some people riot. Obviously, in 2020, we've heard about plenty of people, peacefully protesting, but we've also heard plenty of people, rioting, going in there, breaking into stores, stealing stuff, doing things like that, burning down buildings even. We have seen stories of that all throughout 2020, and a lot of it stems back to police brutality. After this, though, M states, but we ain't never escaping this virus. To the cops that are racially biased, we no longer enable these liars. You get them on tape, they stick to a story like Spider-Man crawling upside of a wall, and yeah. Some are just unabiding as lawmen, like Garrett Rolfe and Derek Chauvin. All of this being referred back to police brutality in America, referring to how these cops, could be considered racially biased because police brutality does indeed affect black people more so than it does any other race. Later on in verse 2, M states, oh, I see a line, people are outraged. The press slams me again, people ain't having it nowadays. Then give an album that I put out in like 2000, you griped about praise. But I wake up every day even more caked up than the makeup on your clown face, and I laid my foundation. It's like he says something, he speaks his mind about something, and then people just get pissed off. People get offended because he actually gets out there, he speaks his mind about something. The press, the media, they slam him for doing it. People get offended too easily nowadays. That's the way that I'm taking that part. Then give an album that I put out in like 2000, you griped about praise. The album Marshall Mathers LP that he put out in 2000, it was absolutely crazy. You go back and you listen to the album, it's something that people would definitely take offensive nowadays, right? And then he says, but I wake up every day even more caked up than the makeup on your clown face, basically referring to, these people that do this as nothing more than clowns. In verse 3, he says, bitch, I will go in like it's raining, and I get canceled like once a day. Why would I go? It's more fun to stay. You get me to leave. There's no way. I feel like he's saying that, people are constantly telling him to retire. People are telling him to, quit rapping, leave the rap game or whatever. And he's just not doing it because he fucking loves rap. And he's not going to. Just call me the Mike Kamikaze with Mike Zombie, and I'm going to just keep bombing because the game is mine like an IED if they ever do cancel me like Live PD. Live PD refers to a show involving cops and police officers and whatnot. The show ended up getting canceled after just a few seasons of being on air, and it was actually canceled right around the time that George Floyd unfortunately passed away. Now, I could go over a whole ton of different lines on this song. Overall, this song is really lit, man. I slept on this track at first after going back through and listening to the album, man. I think that this track is absolutely golden. This is a great track on Music to Be Murdered by Side B by Eminem. I recommend you guys, if you guys are into, rap and hip-hop or like Eminem, I recommend you guys go check out this album. I really do like it. It's a good-ass album. The song, These Demons, is also good as hell, too. So thank you all for tuning in to this video. If you guys enjoyed, please go ahead and smash like. It would be super greatly appreciated. I love y'all. Stay fucking beautiful. Do not go fucking ugly on me either, man. And I'll see you all in the next one.